So before I give you my prediction on this fight, I'm going to explain what this fight means to me. Now, I hear some people saying, oh, this fight doesn't mean anything. But I believe it does mean something. They're underestimating and downplaying what Francis Ngannou did against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, according to some. I understand that distinction died with Lennox Lewis, and so did it end with Lennox? Can you really resurrect it? I'm not here to get into that debate. The point is, he is recognized as the lineal heavyweight champion. I'm speaking of Tyson Fury. So when Francis Ngannou dropped Tyson Fury and lost in a split decision in his professional debut, that made a statement. Did it not? I remember watching Vasily Lomachenko make his professional debut against Orlando Salido, and everyone was rooting for Vasily. It was going to be a coronation for Vasily, and Vasily Lomachenko lost. I remember thinking to myself, although this is an L, it's not a major L. This dude's making his professional debut. We saw the talent. We saw the skill. To me, this is similar. Now, I get it. Vasily Lomachenko has skills that translate well to boxing in terms of you see marvelous footwork. You see great hand speed. You see high boxing IQ. But what Francis Ngannou has is something that's intangible, something we can't really gauge with the naked eye. He has amazing, otherworldly power. He has power. We know that Francis Ngannou destroys anything that he hits. And that is his gift. Yeah, he doesn't have the footwork. Yeah, he may not have world-class hand speed, but he's fast. He has really good timing. And most importantly, he was able to find the punch to drop the lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury. Dillian White wasn't able to do it when he fought Tyson Fury. Derek Ward Chisora wasn't able to do it in the 3 times he fought Tyson Fury. We've seen Tyson Fury hit the canvas, however, which brings me to my next point. We've seen him get dropped several times. The immediate times that come to mind are in the trilogy with Deontay Wilder. He was dropped twice in the first fight and twice in the third fight. What comes to mind is S.S. Cunningham, Stephen Cunningham dropping Tyson Fury. And he was a smaller heavyweight. That comes to mind. So this fight is going to tell a lot. Because Anthony Joshua is usually the guy labeled as chinny. Why? Because what happened in Madison Square Garden against Andy Ruiz, when he got hit with what Anthony Joshua titled the punch from the gods, got wobbly, got up, got dropped again. But we never seen Anthony Joshua out cold. This is something I stated on Boxing Bros for years. It always seemed like Anthony Joshua didn't want to get knocked out cold. It seems like he questioned whether or not he wanted to continue, but he was never out cold. So it's interesting that Tyson Fury gets labeled as having a great chin, but people question Anthony Joshua's chin. We've seen Anthony Joshua buzzed before. We saw that in the Klitschko fight. We saw him go down, get back up, survive, and then end up stopping Klitschko. After the fight with Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua did seem a little reserved, hesitant. And the question is, did he get that killer instinct back? That's one of the things we're going to find out from this fight. Because I believe a timid Anthony Joshua is in danger against Francis Ngannou. But we're also going to find out the answer to this chin question. Does Anthony Joshua have a chin? And I've always stated the best chin is one that doesn't get hit. So if you never get hit in the chin, you have the best chin. Just hands down, you have the best chin because it's never been tested. No one can prove otherwise. So you have the best chin. But if Anthony Joshua takes some punches similar to the punches that Tyson Fury took and he never goes down, well, now you have to start looking at this chin debate a bit differently. Is Anthony Joshua one with the great beard? Remember, Anthony Joshua's been in there with some hard punchers. We saw Deontay Wilder look timid in the ring against Joseph Parker. We saw him not wanting to open up and take the risk. AJ had Joseph Parker keeping his weapons in his holster. So yeah, it's important. A split decision loss in his professional debut. That's what Francis Ngannou was able to achieve against Tyson Fury. That's the stuff Hollywood movies are made of. It's almost like Creed 3. Which is so unbelievable you don't think it would really happen until you saw Francis. So everyone acting like this fight means nothing. You're downplaying what Francis Ngannou did against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury knows that his stock took a hit in that fight with Ngannou. And that's why even when you saw that he had to postpone the fight with Alexander Usyk, he looked like he was in the best shape he's ever been in. Why? Why? Because I know Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury wants to make people forget about what happened with Ngannou by going out there and trying to dominate Usyk in emphatic, impressive fashion. But this fight does mean something. What if Anthony Joshua takes the punches that Tyson Fury took and he doesn't go down? But most importantly, what if he takes the punches and stops Francis Ngannou in the process? Perception shifts. People told me I was crazy when I stated this on the Boxing Bros, that if Anthony Joshua wins this fight, he's going to be the baddest man on the planet. I stand by that. Because Fury vs. Ngannou was titled as the baddest man on the planet. And by the end of the fight, Fury got the decision. But if you look at the world view of what happened, most people thought Francis Ngannou won. The court of public opinion, which is very important, the court of public opinion. The court of public opinion matters. Oh, I get it. I hear what people are going to say. Oh, they don't know nothing about boxing. Fury outboxed them. That's cool. Do you know the most important aspects of our life is decided by people who know nothing about it? In America, to decide your fate on trial, the court assembles a jury of your peers. A jury of your peers who can work in a number of professions, but they're not required to be attorneys and understand the law. So that means if you're on trial for something that can send you to jail for years, the jury's going to be made up of possibly a nurse, of a taxi driver, of a plumber, of a teacher. People who don't study law. People who didn't go to law school. People who didn't pass the bar. People who don't work in the criminal justice field. They are the ones who will decide whether or not the law was interpreted correctly. And how do they do that? Based on their perception of the trial. So that means two attorneys who had to go to law school, who had to pass the bar, are now responsible for simplifying legal concepts to the point where the average person is able to understand what they are hearing. The common person, the lay person, as it's described in the legal profession. So in order for you to be a good attorney, you have to have the ability to take complex concepts and break them down in a manner in which the lay person can understand and rule in your favor. It's the same thing with boxing. It's the same thing with boxing. I watched Jermaine Ortiz versus Teofimo Lopez as someone who's been watching boxing since I was a kid. I've been in the gyms. I fought as an amateur, had the opportunity to go pro, decided to go to school and use my brain instead of my head. There's a difference now. But I know the sport. I thought Jermaine Ortiz won, but there were a lot of people who thought Tio won based on perception. To them, it looked like Jermaine Ortiz was running, so they thought he lost. Doesn't matter what. You can't argue with the court of public opinion. You can't argue with perception, because those are the people who decide your fate, just like the layperson. So it doesn't matter if you lose a trial, but all the legal precedent, all the statutes, everything about the legal aspect of the case was in your favor. If that jury rules against you, you lost. You lost. You can highlight all this stuff, but you lost. Because the lay people who determine your fate did not see you as the winner. And that's the way it is with several aspects of our life. If someone's a bad surgeon, who reviews that? Who makes the determination? Is it all doctors that make the determination? Or are there some lay people who hear, again, what if the case is medical malpractice? And you're going to have a bunch of people sitting in the jury who don't know anything about the medical profession. Like I've been saying, you can't discredit people by saying, oh, you won't know it unless you've been in the ring. That's not true. And it doesn't matter, because in every aspect of our life, well, I shouldn't say every, but in some of the most important aspects of our life, it's determined by people who aren't experts in that field. Imagine you're a chef. You make food. You know everything about food. You study food. You devoted your life to it. You make a dish for this person who can't even make ramen noodles. You make a dish. You make your magnificent dish, your opus, your crowning achievement, your best dish you ever. You put all the work into this dish and you serve it to a group of people who can't even make cereal. And they trash it. Why? Because they don't have to be able to make food to know that the food tastes bad. At the end of the day, people can say what they want, but the court of public opinion ruled in favor of Francis Ngannou. They thought he beat Tyson Fury. So now if Anthony Joshua goes in that ring and he beats Francis Ngannou, he is now perceived in the court of public opinion as the baddest man on the planet. Now, there's some Fury fans out there that aren't going to want to accept that, but it doesn't matter. That is the reality. You can argue all the precedent. You can argue the people have spoken. Look at how big this fight is. And just to give you a reminder, in the middle of all this fight is taking place on a Friday. This Friday, March 8th. And as far as I know, you can purchase this on DAZN. I don't know if it's being shown on any other platforms. Although I saw PPV.com may be showing this fight, but it's at like $69.99. If you buy it on DAZN, it's $39.99. So basically $40 or $70. That's what I saw in America. I don't know how it is worldwide. Check the local listings and where you are to find out your best option for watching this fight. Now I want to get to, what if Anthony Joshua loses this fight? What if Anthony Joshua loses this fight? Well, obviously that's a damaging blow to his career. If he loses this fight, people are going to be questioning his spot and his place at the top. If Anthony Joshua goes in the ring and gets knocked out by Francis Ngannou, a lot of people are going to say, this solidifies what we believed about Anthony Joshua the entire time, which is that He doesn't have a chin. If that's the case, he gets knocked out by Francis Ngannou. Perhaps everyone was right all along. Maybe the reason why AJ never really wanted to engage once he got buzzed, or if you buzzed AJ, the reason why he became timid and more cautious was because he always was trying to hide the chin he never had. That's going to be a reality. That's going to be something we have to consider if Ngannou knocks out Anthony Joshua. If Ngannou beats Anthony Joshua in a decision, to me it's different, because Ngannou technically beat Tyson Fury in the decision to some people, but Tyson Fury won and he's able to keep his belts and he's able to go on and fight Usyk for undisputed. The question is how you lose. I've always stated this in boxing. It's not about winning and losing. It's how you lose. If you lose but you're always in great fights, the public's going to want to see you again. They're going to want to see you again. Especially if you're a superstar like Anthony Joshua. Hell, I want to see Wilder fight again, and he got dominated by Parker, but I still want to see. He's saying it was jet lag. He came in whenever he came in. Okay, cool. So anyway, there's a lot we're going to learn from this fight. We're going to learn if Anthony Joshua still has the killer instinct. We're going to learn if Anthony Joshua has what it takes to reclaim the perception as baddest man on the planet. And we're going to learn if he's made too much money, if he's sleeping on silk sheets now and he really doesn't want to go into the trenches to have to get a win. But Ngannou's going to take him there. Ngannou's going to take him to the trenches, and we're going to see if Joshua is still willing to go to that place to get what he needs. We're going to see if Joshua is still willing to go to the trenches among the savages and the wolves to come back with food to feed his family. That's what we're going to find out. So finally, I'll give you my prediction for this fight. I believe that Anthony Joshua still has the hunger. I believe his hunger is based on the fact that he has now seen things that made him confident that he can take on Tyson Fury, and made him confident that if he gets another shot at Usyk, he can at least do a better job or even get the victory. All of these things remain to be seen, but I think he's found the fire again. The question is, can Ngannou extinguish that fire? I don't believe he can. I think Ngannou has an amazing story, and I think Ngannou has done as much as you can do, especially betting on himself, getting out of his UFC contract, coming over to boxing and making the most money he's ever made in his career. But I think his fairy tale story ends on March 8th, and I'm predicting that Anthony Joshua will stop Francis Ngannou in the 8th round. Let me know what you think. Of course, if I'm wrong, you can come back here and clown me. That's, of course, if YouTube allows you to see my channel. Briefly, I started a channel called Overruled, and I dropped a few videos. I dropped one video. The video was about 24 minutes long on Overruled, and after 9 hours, YouTube just flat out terminated my channel. Stated, deceptive practices, a bunch of nonsense. Basically, some catch-all language they use to terminate your channel. And so, immediately after that, I said, okay, cool, I'll just start another one. I started another channel, and now YouTube is telling people that I haven't posted any content and they should subscribe to another channel. Now, I have the actual proof. It's on your screen. So, I know this from people who actually DM'd me to show me this. It's like YouTube's attempting to kill my channel before it even starts. And I don't know what that's about. Perhaps, look at the content of the videos that I made. They're the same videos I've made since I've been on Boxing Bros. So I really don't understand what all that's about. Either way, if you get this video, like it, subscribe if you like the content. If you don't have to subscribe. I'm not forcing you to do that. But if you do, subscribe and leave a comment. But I would like to know if you're actually seeing this video, because YouTube is terminating the channel, and they're encouraging people to follow another channel and not even showing that I posted videos. Thank you for watching this video. Court is in recess.